welcome everybody to episode 5 of The Jammies. We got a lot to talk about. We haven't had an episode since episode 4 was all about my January 2025 in music. We'll get through a little bit of housekeeping, then we'll talk about a couple new bands that I was able to find over the past month and a half. We got our Saucy Singles for February and March, and we got so many albums to talk about, either ones that just recently came out, or ones that are about to come out, or just were announced, and lots of great new music that's out now, as well as just a whole bunch of projects that I'm really excited for. So, housekeeping. If you have any song recommendations or artist recommendations, please reach out at thejammies@gmail.com. That's the Jammies is JAMMIES show at gmail.com. If you have been checking out the show, checking out any artists or songs that were recommended to you from the show, definitely let me know if you're jamming out to some Axe and the Hatchetmen or some Rum Jungle. I would love to know that the people that are listening to this are picking up those different artists and songs that I've been recommending there. So, also, if you have any music of your own that you'd want to showcase on the show, I'm trying to just start a segment that is going to be showcasing different indie artists and their music, so please do reach out to me. I'd love to showcase your music right here on The Jammies. So do reach out, again, thejammiesshow@gmail.com. So, I am recording this 5th episode on March 19th of 2025. I am hoping to edit it on the 20th, have it out on Friday, March 21st, and just like we did with the last episode, with Rum Jungle's album coming out February, I think it was 21st actually too, we're going to be dropping this podcast episode on the same day that Old Mervs is dropping their debut album. It's just self-titled Old Mervs. So, again, I've been able to talk about Old Mervs throughout every episode, I think, so far. They were my Artist of the Year last year. They were all over my Spotify Wrapped. If you've listened to the first 4 episodes, you've heard me talk about Old Mervs. Well, we're about to get a whole lot more Old Mervs because I believe it's going to be a 12-song, I think it's around 12-song new album from them. 5 of them have been singles. 2 of the singles are 2 of my favorite songs by Old Mervs, so we'll jump into that a little bit later as well, but want to make sure if you're listening to this on the day it releases or anytime after, just want to let you know that Old Mervs' debut album, Old Mervs, is out now. So over the past, really to start March, I was on a nice vacation, getting some nice warmer weather instead of just all the cold weather that we get out here in Wisconsin. Yes, I am living in Wisconsin. First time mentioned on the podcast, but there you go. We have just some horrible weather looking out the window right now. You get a couple false springs, then you get just, likes to hit you hard with the snow and the sleet and all that stuff. All the way into April a lot of times, but nevertheless, we're not here to talk about weather. If you know me, I don't talk about weather. I try to avoid that conversation topic as much as possible. So, why am I talking to you guys about weather that's moving on as of tomorrow anyway? And I'm just still rambling about it. Anyways, on a nice vacation, wasn't able to listen to too much new music or find many new artists, but the couple artists that I have come across over February and March, really excited to talk about them, as well as didn't really have to find any new artists because not only Rum Jungle's album, Recency Bias, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, Recency Bias is treating me fantastic, as well as Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners. They released their 4th album, Colorado's on Fire Again, by Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners. And definitely first impressions, really, really enjoying it. It's a lot more Richie Mitch, and that's a good thing for me. Alright, so again, we will jump into the album talk a little bit more a little later, but we're going to start with the couple artists that I have been able to find throughout February 2025 and most of March here. And the first band I'm going to bring up is a band called Dog Park, Dogpark. They actually just released a new EP. It's called Until the Tunnel Vision Melts. It actually came out March 7th, same day that Richie Mitch's new album came out, but they had a couple singles off of this specific EP that came out, and those were the ones that I was hearing, and then all of a sudden they released this EP shortly after I started listening to them. All my favorite music so far is all on this EP, so if you want to check out Dog Park, again, it's an EP called Until the Tunnel Vision Melts. My favorite song by them is Dreamwalker, but Hollywood and Storefront Cabana are both on that EP as well, and I'd recommend both those ones to go along with it. If you got the time, listen to the whole EP and check out the rest of their music. I think they're very good. I recommended a band a couple episodes ago called Foxtide. They reminded me of Foxtide. I think I need to put a playlist together with Dog Park and Foxtide and a couple other good bands. all to circle around that same genre. Next band that I'm going to talk about is Congress the band. It's just Congress. If you know how to spell Congress, there you go. So Congress the band. Right now they only have 2 songs out on Spotify, and both are really great. I can't believe how much notoriety they're getting already. They're up over like 100,000 listens on one, and I think they're at like 300,000 listens on another, and these songs just came out in 2024. But yeah, a band that has only 2 songs you'd think maybe would end up on the Saucy Singles list. But here's the thing. Both these songs, fantastic. Specifically, Modern Lady, phenomenal song. Great guitar, got great singing, it's lovely. Recent playlists, these couple bands that I'm mentioning right now, specifically Congress the band and the next one, they're ending up in every single one of these playlists. Like I want to make sure I'm listening to these 2 songs by Congress the band as much as I can, so they're getting funneled in. And that next band to talk about is a band called The Bends, which is the Bends is Bends. It's another band that has just a few songs out. They actually have 3 songs out. Again, I feel like they're already worthy of your follow. If you listen to the 2 songs by Congress the band and the 3 songs by the Bends, again, this is why they're not in the Saucy Singles list, because each one of these songs are really good. And with the Bends, they have 3 different songs out, and they each kind of hit a different rock genre, I'd say. You have Fair Weather, that's got kind of a raspy, like, more hard rock feel to it, and then you got Weekend Love as their most recent one, and Makeup that just hit a little bit differently with more of like a chill, just kind of like beautiful types of music there with those 2 songs. So, the Bends, again, only 3 songs out, but if you got time for one, I'd say Makeup. If you got time for all 3, Makeup, Fair Weather, and Weekend Love are their latest 3, and Weekend Love actually came out February 28th of this year, so go support them, go check them out. Again, they have quite a few listens already on these 3 songs, so I think a lot of people are catching on right away that although they don't have that most music out in the world, we're all excited about what's coming next from the Bends and from Congress the band. And that is all the bands that I have been able to stumble into. There's been a couple other ones, but they maybe will be mentioned in the Saucy Singles. I haven't really had to find new music all too often lately because I've been very much enthralled with these 2 albums that I'll talk about. But first, we got our Saucy Singles, and I teased a couple of these in last episode there, so if people have been waiting a whole month for this information, for these Saucy Singles, I apologize it took so long, but trust me, they were worth the wait. And I did sort of challenge people to see if they could find this song that I'll talk about first. But the first Saucy Single, this is the second time ever that we're doing this segment, the reoccurring segment, Saucy Singles, and a great one to start with this week. It's called Speak Too Soon by, I think it's Bebe Stockwell, it's Bebe Stockwell, but it's featuring Hans Williams. I think that's probably why it ended up in my release radar, because now, 5 for 5, we've got to talk about Hans Williams. I love Hans Williams, don't get me wrong, but it's just funny that all 5 episodes, he's made the cut. This song is well above the bar. It's a beautiful duet between, again, Bebe Stockwell, I believe it is, and Hans Williams. So, the song Speak Too Soon, very soft, slow duet, beautiful vocals. Next up is the single, the Saucy single, Stay, and then it's like / Honestly, so Stay, Honestly. And this is by Axe and the Hatchet Men. This song came out, I believe, in late February. This song's just all fun. It's classic Axe and the Hatchet Men. If you've gotten to listen to any of their music, it's very similar, but somehow just always finds the right vibe. Finds something new and unique to splish splash in there so it doesn't sound like the exact same song. I'm really enjoying this one. And I'm excited to see if Axe and the Hatchet Men, maybe they have like an album coming out in 2025. That'd be awesome. I don't believe they have a full-length album yet, so seeing all these other indie artists kind of gain some steam and release some new music or maybe even debut albums, really excited to see what Axe and the Hatchet Men have up their sleeve because they seem to have a big enough following that I think they could put something together, and I'd be really excited to see an album from them. For now, I'll take one song at a time, especially if they're as good as the song Stay, Honestly. Again, that's Axe and the Hatchet Men. We actually get to see them live tonight, I guess now. In 2 days from now, as of when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on the day it releases, we're at Axe and the Hatchet Men, possibly right now. So that's super exciting. They're a big band. They got a lot of instruments, so I think it's going to be one hell of a concert. And I will be sure to report back on how Axe and the Hatchet Men were live. maybe I'll ask him about the album thing, see if it's okay if I talk about them on my exclusive podcast. We'll see. We'll see if I have more information for you guys next time, but only if allowed to share, and only if they have anything to share. All right, this next Saucy single is kind of random. I did actually mention it, kind of a teaser towards it. Didn't actually say the song last week. Did tease it a little bit, and it's the song Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish. Hootie and the Blowfish was a band that was around in my childhood. My parents used to listen to Hootie and the Blowfish quite often. It'd be, especially their popular songs would be on shuffles or it'd be on the radio. And I'd always be hearing Hootie and the Blowfish and liking Hootie and the Blowfish, but who knew that Let Her Cry was just such an... What is this song? This song is incredible. Like, listen as an adult, and like listen if you haven't listened to it in a while, if you've never heard of it, any of those things. Refresh your brain with Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish, and really some of their hits, you gotta go back at. I mean, I don't understand how Darius Rucker has that powerful of a voice. I don't understand how, like, it's just a 5+ minute song that, like, ebbs and flows and just rocks at times. Like, so yeah, random one, Hootie and the Blowfish, making the cut for Saucy Singles. Again, not all of these songs or Saucy Singles are going to be coming out in the year that I'm talking about them in. So I like to just bring up some songs that have been working for me lately. And there you have it. All right. Next Saucy single. This one's real saucy. It's more of a pop feel to it, and it's called Following the Feeling by Tommy Newport. This song has a great vibe to it. It's gonna lift your spirits up. You want it on like a playlist that has like MGMT and stuff. Like, you want to just vibe. It's a great follow. So go check out Following the Feeling by Tommy Newport. I have mentioned my coworker Scott in one other episode. He tuned me into a song that I had heard before, but for whatever reason, it just never got saved to any of my playlists. It's maybe a song that you've heard as well. It's called Tomorrow by Shaky Graves. If you haven't heard it, great raspy singing. It's got just clear vocals and like nice kind of like hard guitar. Really enjoyable song and fits well with a lot of different grittier or maybe like folkish playlists. And if you've never heard it, definitely recommend checking it out. Or if you just haven't listened to it in a while, again, go check back into Tomorrow by Shaky Graves. Great song. The next Saucy single was actually almost a band that I was going to go over. The band's called Everyday Fantastic. They have some decent songs out there. Easy Way Out, I like by them. And that's actually their first song that they released on Spotify. Their latest release on Spotify is our Saucy single, though. And it's a song called Falling by, again, Everyday Fantastic. They categorize themselves as sob rock, and I can kind of hear it, you know. It's like a little bit like emotional, like got a little bit of like whine in the voice type of thing, but the song's really good. It's pretty damn catchy. So Falling by Everyday Fantastic. In episode 4 of The Jammies, we had a Saucy single by Noah Richardson. That song was Tangerine. And right after we recorded that episode, he released another song, and it's going to end up on the Saucy Singles list again. Again, a little bit more pop to it, but definitely still has just a good overall vibe. It's a song called What's Wrong by Noah Richardson, and it's another one that I recommend by him. I still need to take a deeper dive into Noah Richardson's music. I believe I've listened to one album all the way through. After just catching a couple of singles that really worked for me, I'm curious to see if I can find anything else by Noah Richardson that'll really have me falling. And the last Saucy single, kind of its own little category. It's the Good Find segment of the show. This is when somebody is offering me up some good music, and I'm going to call it the Good Find of the show. The Good Find of the show is from my lovely wife. She introduced me to the song Ordinary by Alex Warren. I think it has quite a few listens on Spotify. She's been hearing it a lot on TikTok as well. I think it's blown up on certain sides of TikTok. So Ordinary by Alex Warren. If you've heard it, I hope you're loving it as much as we have been. If you haven't, it's a really powerful song. It's got a great kind of like, you know, when like a Hozier song is just like, it's just powerful. It's just like pushing you. This one does the same to me. Check out Ordinary by Alex Warren if you have not. All right, to the main segment of episode 5 of The Jammies, we are talking about how many albums have come out recently, and again, how many albums have just been announced as well. So, last episode we did talk about Automatic by the Lumineers. Honestly, I haven't really had to go back to this one. I think maybe eventually I'll dig into it a little bit more. it's always nice to have different albums and artists that you like that, you can always go back to their albums. One example for me would be the Clancy album by 21 Pilots. I had so much other music at the time that, yes, I loved the album and listened to it enough times, but I didn't kind of beat it into the ground like I have with other 21 Pilot albums. So in the same vein, this Lumineers album, I know I'll go back to it when I'm maybe needing some new music or an influx of some good music. I'll go back to that album eventually. But it's cool to have so much new music that I've been enjoying and appreciating outside of just the big bands that I've always known and loved. Speaking of a band that I know and love, Rum Jungle, again, brought it up last episode. It was actually coming out on that same day that the episode had come out. So since then, again, I've been on a little trip and have been able to listen to it quite a bit. I haven't been able to listen to it on my sound system all too often, but the couple times that I have listened to it on my nice speaker setup, man, it's good no matter what. I mean, I listened to it full blast on both my AirPods and the plane, and it was hitting me absolutely incredibly just even in that experience. So yeah, even in the plane with all that noise around you, it was still just, wow, what an album. And then, yeah, getting home from vacation and being able to plug the song into the nice speaker setup that I do have, man, it was phenomenal. I look forward to every single time that I can sit down and listen to a great album like this one in front of those speakers. So yeah, Recency Bias by Rum Jungle. The song Hi Hello opens the album, and I think it's a great start. The first time I heard it, the first time I listened to the whole album, I'm always a little bit skeptical of like, oh man, I really hope I like this. I've been looking forward to this. I hope I enjoy what I'm listening to now. And I feel like the first couple times even that I listen to new albums, it's like a little bit more of a critique in your own head, and sometimes I even have trouble like turning it off of like, man, like this is kind of a lull in the song, and that's when your brain decides to be like, ooh, like what if you don't like this full album? But the more you listen to it and the more you can really sink into the music and hear the different instruments going and the different nuances with the band's art here, really start to sink in and start to love it. And man, this album, front to back, they had, I think, 5 singles out. I had heard a couple of the songs, tried not to run those into the ground as well. And I did a pretty good job. The song like Chauffeur was a single, and I've only heard it a couple times because I knew it was going to be on this album. So yeah, after Hi Hello, you got Don't Be a Stranger was a single, and Weather's Better was a single as well. Still really enjoying those songs, and the whole album flows really well together, I'd say, as well. The song Mad Men has opened my ears to the fact that Rum Jungle kind of sounds like Cage the Elephant. I think specifically in the song Mad Men, it's undeniable Cage the Elephant. But once it was so like in my face with this Mad Men song of the Cage the Elephant influence, I was like, maybe not influence, but feeling that I'm getting of Cage the Elephant. Now I'm listening to more of their music, and it's like, yeah, maybe this is my replacement for new Cage, Rum Jungle, here we are. Thank you, Australia. After Mad Men, my favorite song on the album, potentially, it was definitely that single right before the album came out that I was absolutely loving. I had mentioned it in an episode previous. What It's Like is that song, and it's a softer song, but it's, man, it has my heart for sure. Again, Chauffeur is the song after that, as mentioned, really, really good. Rocket Ship's a fun little 2-minute song. Always on Your Good Side, another one that the more I listen to, the more I like it. And then I feel like the album hits like this really nice 3-song part that none of the songs were released before this album came out, so like none of them were really like spoiled for me or anything like that. It would have been interesting to listen to the album front to back without hearing any of the music, because I think I would have been a lot more like shocked with how incredible the whole album was, where me knowing about 5 songs on there, again, and that's where I really try not to listen to too many of the singles if I know the album's coming out soon and has those singles on there. But yeah, the songs Alright, Notice, and Backwards come after that, Always on Your Good Side, and again, I think this is a really great part of the album. It's all fresh music, and the song Backwards is, I think it could have been the outro on the whole album, because very catchy song, and then it has this beautiful outro that goes into them jamming, and then the jamming slows down and the ukulele comes on with just the singer and kind of plays the song out for the last 30 seconds, and it's beautiful, it's phenomenal. There is one more song after that one. The song's called Pass You By. I'm not going to be mad with more songs on an album. I'm not going to be mad with more Rum Jungle. So, Pass You By, it's a good closer as well. I just think the outro on the song backwards really could have capped the album in a very pretty way. But again, I'm sure the more I listen to Pass You By, the more I'm going to be like, oh, I'm so happy this song is on this album. If I have one gripe, honestly, with the whole Recency Bias album, I just really wish that the song She Only Spoke Through Music was on this album. That was a single that came out not too long ago, and I really love that song. I could definitely see it being on the record there as well. But maybe they didn't have room, and maybe it just didn't fit the right structure of the album. If Rum Jungle comes out with a deluxe version of Recency Bias, please don't leave off the song She Only Spoke Through Music, because, man, I love that song too. Alrighty, next album to talk about, it's a big one. It's a big one for me personally, it's a big one for my wife as well. It's the album Colorado's on Fire Again by Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners. So the album came out on March 7th. Again, we were on our nice little vacation, so we got to queue up the songs on our soundbar inside the Airbnb that we were staying at and get to listen to the album for the first time together. And it was really special, and each time I listened to it after that, it's going to be a great memory, and it's going to build so many great memories. We're going into like the spring and summertime, and I just know that this album and a couple others are going to really fuel my spring-summer 2025 memories. And I feel like the album Colorado's on Fire Again just really brings you through a musical, beautiful journey. It has so much of what you love about Richie Mitch. So Richie Mitch has 3 previous albums. One came out in 2017, just RMCM. They had one in 2018 called Solstice, and then they had one in 2019 called Subliming. And each album's a little bit different. 2017 one, RMCM, pretty raw, like vocally and with their guitar work and everything. I mean, it was their first album. I believe I think it says that they were in high school when they were making that album. I can't remember though for sure. So that one has a lot of Mitch just playing just strictly the piano or the guitar, the acoustic guitar, and singing over it. And he has a lot of songs that are just him by himself. Then you have Solstice, which is going to be its own sort of deal. And then Subliming, I think, is the most upbeat album that they have. It's got a lot of good electric guitar to flow with the songs and flow with Mitch's piano work and his amazing singing voice. And Colorado's on Fire Again, so they hadn't had a release since Subliming in 2019, so we're talking good 6 years since their last album release, and it was worth the wait. I didn't have to wait the whole time. I didn't know about Richie Mitch in 2019, but it's incredible having this much new Richie Mitch music. They came out with a couple singles last year, and we were just kind of waiting on, I wonder if they're going to release an album. It has been a while. And Colorado's on Fire Again just absolutely delivered. So yeah, there's a lot to love about this album, but one of the things that I'm enjoying the most are we can kind of like find different pieces of their previous work. A lot of times I'll be listening to it and I'll be like, oh man, that guitar riff is like so much like their Subliming album. So yeah, this is the most new RMCM music that I've had since stumbling onto their music. It's pretty special how much music they had. When I first found Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners, it was great. I mean, I had 3 albums to listen to, a couple other singles to get into, and it felt like this, it was like 40 plus songs, and like really loved just about every one of them. So now to have 14 brand new songs from Richie Mitch, and all of them really working, it's very exciting times for me, let's just say. Especially I've only listened to the songs when I'm listening to the album front to back with all 14. And this as an album front to back is just, I think it's going to be the best way to listen to it. It's beautiful. It flows very well from one song into the next. They do the thing in the second song into the third song that it literally just flows the exact same music into the next one and starts the intro of Santiago. Anyways, the intro is Barry Herman. And Barry Herman, it kind of starts a little bit like darker and not, it's definitely like not like a happy sounding intro. And then they kind of like work through all the way to like the third act of the song, and then they just flip it on you. And man, when they flip Barry Herman, it's incredible, and it just like leads into all the happy RMCM vibes. So great way to start the album. Absolutely loving every time I get to listen to that song. And then it leads into Churchill. Again, Churchill goes into Santiago very perfectly. Again, it's been first impressions. I'm not gonna take too deep a dive into it, nor do I really know how to talk about music well enough to describe each song and say something, again, profound about every single song. Like, that's not what I'm ever probably going to be able to do with this podcast. The podcast is really just about recommending music that I've been loving and hoping that other people find some joy in it as well. So instead of going song by song, I'm just going to mention For the Jets, probably maybe my favorite song on the whole album. Again, this is the one that I'm like, oh man, this is like vintage subliming RMCM, and it is phenomenal. It's like just the same type of guitar riffs, and when they're just jamming out. I mean, For the Jets ends with this beautiful piano work by Mitch, and when I was listening to it on my nice speaker setup, all of a sudden you hear this For the Jets song, and you hear the outro, and you hear the piano, and it just seems so seamless and so easy to just like wow me with any piano work that Mitch does. And then you listen through most of the songs on this album, and you notice like how much beautiful piano there is throughout it, but Mitch almost ends every single song with just its own unique, equally beautiful piano work. Keep an ear out for that, because that's been one of my favorite things on the whole album. Again, there's going to be a lot more listens to this album for me, but all in all, I think the album as a whole is worth the listen, worth the recommendation, not just because I love Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners, but because I truly believe that they make some incredible music that could be good for any type of person out there. So yeah, go check out Colorado's on Fire Again by Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners. I know it's a lot to search. That's that's a lot to type in there, but you should be able to type in Colorado's on Fire Again or RMCM or something like that, and you should be able to find that on a Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you're searching for music at. Go check out the album. It's 42 minutes long, and it's worth your time, I promise. So those are the albums that have come out. Again, I might have a little bit more to say on them. I don't see myself stopping listening to them anytime soon. As mentioned in the intro, Old Mervs, their debut album, Old Mervs, just self-titled there, that comes out March 21st, 2025. So again, hopefully when you're listening to this, it'll be out this same day that this episode releases, or anytime after that. So do go check out Old Mervs. Again, it's their debut album. You got to check it out. You got to go support them. It's already got two of my favorite songs by Old Mervs on it. There were a couple singles called Forget It and What You've Lost, which both showed up in the 2024 Jammies Awards. I'm excited to dive into the rest of the album. There's quite a few singles off it, but I mean, there's still a solid 7 songs, I think, that I've just never heard from Old Mervs yet. So yeah, when this airs, I'll be jamming out to some Old Mervs, and I'll be jamming out at that Axe and the Hatchet Men concert. So a lot of good music. And speaking of a lot of good music, RC Drive just out of nowhere was like, hey, you know how we've been releasing all of this music, all these singles? Well, it's because we have our own album coming out. Their album called The Pit is announced for April 18th of 2025. So they already have 5 songs released as singles, so you can definitely get a good idea of the album so far, but I believe it's going to be a 12-song album, it looks like, on the track list preview. So yeah, 7 new RC Drive songs and a lot of fresh ones that just came out recently. Like, absolutely sign me up. Their only other album was Attic Sessions. So yeah, that Attic Sessions is a 7-song album. But yeah, this will be like their first, I guess, I don't know what a full-length album, if that even means anything, but I mean, a 12-song album is definitely their biggest project yet. They had the EP Beach Plum back in 2023, I believe. So yeah, more RC Drive, sign me up. The album's called The Pit. It's releasing April 18th, 2025. So man, what a great way to start the year. You start with the Lumineers album, and then we get a Rum Jungle album, and then we get Richie Mitch's new album. And now we got Old Mervs. We're going to be listening to Old Mervs together again. And then we got RC Drive to look forward to in mid-April. So really good flow of music so far. I'm excited to continue to find new artists. But one of the cool things about finding more and more indie artists for yourself to listen to, the more music that comes out for you, you know? Like, you don't have to wait around for your one big band's 7th studio album or something like that. You can stumble into a lot of good music. And they're constantly making music in the indie space. A lot of great music. I mean, that's what this podcast is all about. It's trying to point people in the right direction, point people in a direction of music that I think a lot of people could enjoy. So yeah, if you've been enjoying the Jammies, do reach out. Let me know how you've been feeling about it. If you've been checking out any of the music, or if you have any recommendations for me to check out, I would love to hear from you as well. And yeah, one last call to action. Again, if you know me, if you see my posts on Facebook or on Snapchat about the podcast, do reach out to me. You know, if you know me personally, if I've ever been a part of your life, let me know that you're listening into the show. It would mean a lot. And I mean, if that just starts up a conversation between us, we share old stories, share what's going on in our lives now, and maybe share some good music. That'd be awesome to know that people are really out there listening. So please do reach out if you don't have any contact information, or if you don't know me personally, reach out at thejammies show at gmail.com. Again, it's thejammies is JAMMIES show at gmail.com. All right, so quick recap. Just from episode 5 of The Jammies alone, we got some artists to check out in Dog Park, Congress the Band, The Bends. We got 8 different Saucy Singles from Baby Stockwell, featuring Hans Williams. You got an Axe and the Hatchet Men, a shout out to Hootie and the Blowfish, a new one from Tommy Newport called Following the Feeling, Tomorrow by Shaky Graves. You got Falling by Everyday Fantastic, and you have What's Wrong by Noah Richardson, the good find of the week, again from my lovely wife, the song Ordinary by Alex Warren. And you got potentially 4 new albums to go check out if you're going to count Automatic by the Lumineers, Recency Bias by Rum Jungle, Colorado's on Fire Again by Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners, and the new Ol' Mervs, self-titled Ol' Mervs album. Yeah, I'm good. Luckily, everything stayed on, so that's something. Yeah, so the power just went out in the house when we're having, like I mentioned, just a disgusting snowy sleet storm right now of just like, hey, you know how it's like March and it was like 55 degrees out just a little while ago, like last week even? Yeah, no, you're not done with it. We're going to pull you back in. This is winter in the Midwest. Anyways, you got 3 new bands, you got 4 new albums, you got 8 new singles, and I'm hoping that just like when Rum Jungle came out with their album on the same day as the Jammies episode came out, we're enjoying it in the same way, but with Ol' Mervs this time. So I'll be listening to Ol' Mervs. I'll definitely still be listening to Colorado's on Fire Again and Recency Bias. And then we got RC Drive's album The Pit to look forward to in less than a month now. So hopefully I'll talk to you guys before then. If not, I'm sure we'll be talking about RC Drive's new album very, very soon, or right around the time of episode 6 of The Jammies. So again, if you got any recommendations for me, reach out. If you want any of your music on the show, please do reach out. Besides that, that's all I got for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, sticking around to the end. I hope some of this music finds you guys well. I hope the new year and the first 3.5 months here have been treating everybody good. Let's find some great new music together. I hope that you enjoy some of these recommendations that were just mentioned and ones from the previous episodes. That's all I got though. Thanks so much for listening, and keep on jamming. Keep on jamming. Keep on jamming. Keep on jamming. Yeah, just keep all those.